What's up, guys? JP back at you once again at bringing you guys day number 18 in my 6th annual 31 Days of Horror. This is a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 18, we have Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast. And this film came out in 1963. It is from the Godfather of Gore. I've obviously never seen this film, as with every film that I'm reviewing this month, but I've actually never seen a single Herschel Gordon Lewis film. Now, the Arrow Video released the Herschel Gordon Lewis box set, the Box of Gore or whatever, giant set with a bunch of Herschel Gordon Lewis films. I unfortunately did not get that, but they released the original Blood Feast here on Blu-ray, and I was very excited to get this in the mail because I felt like Herschel Gordon Lewis was such an important part of horror history, and I have never seen any of his films, so I figured why not start with Blood Feast, which is probably his most popular film. Blood Feast is a very simple film. It opens up with a woman getting into a hot bath in which she is murdered, and her limbs are severed and taken with the killer. We see his face right away, we know who he is. Then we cut to some detectives who are investigating the murder. We eventually find out that the killer is taking everybody's body parts as part of this feast, this blood feast, which is an ancient Egyptian blood sacrifice. And it's up to the detective to figure out who's doing it and stop them. Honestly, guys, okay, so let me just say this. First and foremost, I know this film is a classic. I know that it has its place in history for its influence. 1963, there just wasn't a whole lot of films doing this type of genre. It's considered a splatter film. The extra, amounts of gore, things like that. It just wasn't happening that much, or if at all, and this film definitely inspired a ton of movies. This was like a sort of grindhouse or drive-in film that was very popular. I understand that, but in today's audience watching this film, this is not a good movie. It is a movie that you can respect for what it did and where it came from, but when you're judging the film just on the technical level, it's very, very cheesy. It does not hold up. Just for starters, the way that the kills happen, it's very much I'm coming to kill you, and it's shoo, shoo, very choreographed, these slow movements to where that it was it was just they didn't have the, I don't know, I guess technique or editing power or whatever, but it's funny because the stab motions are not fast and fierce. They're slow to make sure to not hurt the person or something like that. And it's these very slow creeping shots of they're coming for, it's just it does not look good. And the gore, okay, for the time probably was passable. Today, absolutely not. It is the blood is paint. It looks like paint. It does not look like blood as we know it. It's that very red paint looking 60s blood. There is, if you use your imagination, it definitely has an effect. The tongue scene, I do think is kind of effective. They rip out a tongue. It's kind of effective. It works a little bit. This movie's only an hour and 7 minutes long. It does not run very long at all, yet it is kind of boring at times. This movie, I understand, is popular for a reason, as it should be. It's an important movie. It's an interesting, turn in horror history. But as a film today, it's not a good film. However, it is pretty entertaining. I thought that it was fun, entertaining. It was a movie that you're not gonna hate watching. It's only an hour and 7 minutes long. I found the music to be slightly annoying at times. It was I don't know, this weird. I'm not good at describing music, but it was just just a very like an organ or something. I don't know. It was like very off-putting. Maybe that was its intent. The acting isn't the greatest either, but I kept getting like hints of Blood Diner while watching this, which honestly this movie's better than Blood Diner, which is like a pseudo sequel / remake of Blood Feast. But I like the ideas behind this one. It was a little convenient that like so many characters were into like ancient Egyptian culture and stuff like that. So, you know, there's like about 3 or 4 characters who like know a little bit about it or into it, which is kind of convenient for the plot. But yeah, I'm gonna just come in at a 5 out of 10 on Blood Feast. It is not a good movie. It is entertaining though. I'm happy I watched it, but it's definitely not going to be one of my favorite horror films. So that will be all. See you guys tomorrow with another review.